There's a particular feeling I think we don't talk about enough. Look at it this way. You're doing okay, you're improving, you're even growing, but somehow you still feel behind. You constantly feel like you missed something. It feels like everyone else got a head start, like you're late to your own life. Today, I want us to look into why that feeling even exists. Why do we feel left behind, even when we're doing well? Let's get into it. The first thing I want us to dissect is the illusion of being behind. And I say illusion because honestly, most times it has absolutely nothing to do with reality. This feeling mostly comes from comparison, if we're being honest. Because think about it, we are constantly exposed to people's highlights on social media, especially their wins, their milestones, their soft life, their breakthroughs. Like, you see only the good things are happening to people once you open social media. We rarely see their struggles. We don't see it. We don't see delays. We don't see confusion. You don't see failure. There is no sign of failure online. Like, no. So naturally and eventually you start comparing your real life to someone else's curated and well edited highlights. And in that kind of comparison, of course you would always lose, of course. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you're failing. No, it's just the comparison is unfair. It's not fair. You're comparing your real life to someone else's edited life. You cannot win in this situation. So the comparison aside, another reason why we usually feel left behind even when we're doing well is because we have this timeline pressure. For most of us, by a certain age, you must have hit a particular career milestone, had a particular chunk of money or a particular amount of money in your bank account, a certain kind of stability, clarity, unrealistic confidence, and a clear-cut direction. You just know that if by a certain age you've not hit all of these milestones, then you must surely be failing. And if that's how you want to look at life, then it will always make sense to you that you are failing, even when you actually are not. Because one thing about life that we know is life doesn't really follow all these social schedules. Like, life has its own path, its own program, and you cannot force it. You have people who find their paths at 22. For some people, it's 35. For other people, it's 40. For some people, it's 60. You cannot force it. Life happens when it happens. This thing called progress is not linear. It's layered, step by step. And I say it's layered because there are different aspects. Emotionally, you might be ahead. Mentally, you might be strong. Spiritually, you might be grounded. So there are different aspects, there are different angles to analyze life. It's not just a linear situation. No. And when you look at all these areas, when one area is lagging behind or when one area is actually not where you would want it to be, maybe sometimes it's just growing. You're just in a period of growth in that particular area. It might be spiritually, it might be emotionally, it might be mentally, financially. When one thing is not working, most times we just conclude that everything is bad. Is that true? You just go ahead and label your whole life as behind. Calm down. We know that's not accurate. We know. Because between you and I, there is a lot of hidden work you do that we don't see. We don't get to see. There's this hidden work that we all do that no one sees. When you're healing, we don't see it. Nobody can look at you and say, that one healed 1 inch from yesterday to today. Nobody sees your healing. Nobody sees your unlearning. That's a process I am actually living right now, but nobody can see it. You see me, you don't see the unlearning I'm going through. Nobody is there to see when you decide to start over. When you're starting over, nobody sees it. We see you as the same person, but maybe you're starting over in a whole other area of your life. We cannot see it. We don't see when you're rebuilding confidence. We don't see when you decide to live unhealthy environments, and it must not be a physical environment. It can just be maybe a certain group of friends you had, or a certain thing you were associated to, and you decide to leave that thing. The whole world is not seeing it, but you can feel your own shifts. When you're home choosing better habits, we don't see it. We don't see when you're choosing vegetable over over pasta. We don't see, we're not there. Except you choose to show us online. When you're quietly staying consistent at certain things you've decided to engage in, we don't see it. So there is so much progress you're making, there's so much growth you're experiencing that we actually do not get to see. And consequently, that kind of work doesn't get any applause. But you need to know that that's the foundation of everything. That's the foundation of your growth, of your progress. The quiet work you don't see is actually the foundation of everything. When you're involved in deep internal work, your external life might look stagnant and slow, but it actually is not. That's like the foundation of your growth. So most of us are in this phase where we're doing internal work on one thing or the other, and it's so easy for you to judge yourself as being stagnant, as not growing, because externally it might look the same, but internally, if we're being real with each other, you're making so much progress. And here is something actually ironic. People who feel left behind the most are people who are the highest achievers out here. Highest achievers are the ones who always feel like they're lagging behind, always. So if you're in this season where you feel like you're lagging behind, it just might be that you're a high achiever. I can say this from experience. And when you feel left behind, it's usually just because you are self-aware. People who are really grounded and deeply self-aware are the people who always think they're being left behind, because you're always reflecting. You evaluate everything. You want more for your life. You want so much more. You hold yourself to very high standards. So, of course, you will notice more gaps than other people do. It's just normal because you have a clear vision of where you could be or where you want to be. It's so clear to you. You know exactly where you want to go. So eventually, you know exactly where you are not yet. You know who you want to be. You know who you are now. So the gap gets so clear to you because you're an overachiever. But you need to keep in mind that that awareness is a gift. Don't use it against yourself. That's actually your gift, because not many people are self-aware. Not everybody is so self-aware. But this is where the twist is. You can be self-aware and it's a gift. But once you add comparison to self-awareness, it becomes self-criticism. That's where you have a problem. You can be self-aware without punishing yourself. The only catalyst you add to destroy everything is comparison. Once you start comparing with other people, you start overlooking your own wins. Everybody's win looks brighter than yours. Everybody's win suddenly starts looking bigger than yours. Meanwhile, you're winning in your own way. You're just overlooking it. And sometimes you even feel like you're being left behind or you're not winning just because you're tired. It's fatigue. Maybe you're just burnt out. It's like emotional fatigue. You might be emotionally tired. Maybe you're going through something right now that's really draining you emotionally. Or maybe you're physically tired. You can also be physically tired. Maybe mentally tired. You can also be spiritually tired. This fatigue thing also is in layers. And you can bear with me. You can testify that when you feel drained or when you feel like you're being pulled in different directions, you just feel like your life is not giving. You feel like you're not winning. Most times you feel like you're failing. Even if it's one aspect, you just feel like your life is not giving. Everything suddenly feels heavier. Your progress just feels slower or smaller. Your motivation feels low. You can actually testify with me when you're going through some emotional kind of thing. It's like you should just stay in bed all day. It's like nothing is working. And that exhaustion is what you start interpreting as failure. Meanwhile, it's not though. It's not. When you're feeling like that, it just means you need restoration. It doesn't mean you have to start judging yourself. It's not time to judge. It's time to restore. So here are a few mindset shifts we can use, especially when we start feeling drained, tired. You start feeling like, ooh, your life is not giving. Let's try to reframe the whole behind feeling. Once you start feeling like, my life is... these are a few things you can do to just reframe it. The first thing you need to do is to measure your growth. Not speed. Measure your growth, not your speed. You need to ask yourself some questions here. Am I wiser than last year? Really analyze it. Are there things you know this year that you didn't know last year? Is there a way you're going about situations this year that's different from the way you would have gone about them last year? Are you more stable? Do you actually feel more stable in different aspects as compared to last year? Are you more intentional, especially about yourself? Are you more intentional? Do you eat better? Do you sleep better? Do you work out this year? Were you working out last year? Are you more intentional about your career growth? Are you more intentional about your business? Are there things you're actually intentionally thinking about this year that you weren't thinking about last year? Be sincere in your analysis. The second thing you need to do for yourself is to track your invisible wins, the things we don't see that you are hitting. For example, your peace. We cannot see your peace. When I look at your picture, I see a body. I don't know if you're at peace or not. You're the only one who knows. You're the only one who knows what's going on inside. So can you actually track that? How were you feeling 10 months ago? Try to remember how you were feeling same time last year. Do you feel more peaceful inside, or is it getting worse? Because that's possible too. Do you have stronger boundaries this year, or are your boundaries getting weaker? Do they know not to play with you, or are they still playing with you? How's your discipline looking this year? Is it the same like last year, or are you more disciplined this year? Your confidence, your clarity, just the things we cannot see. Think about them. Make your own list. What are things you're actually working on? Which aspects of your life do you actually feel a difference that we cannot see? Imagine the things we don't see when you post a picture online. Then you measure those things. Track them. They may seem small, but they matter more than anything else. And the third thing you need to do for yourself, just to maintain your sanity, maintain your mental health. Stop borrowing anxiety from other people's timelines. You need to stop it. And if this means you should scroll less, then so be it. This social media thing is not for everybody. Some people do really well. Some people have strong mental. How do you say this in English? Some people are mentally stronger than others. I can look at someone's post and I'm like, oh, wow, nice dress. Her makeup is giving. Oh, this is beautiful. Another person will look at the same picture and feel so bad. Like, woo, her body is banging. My own body is not nice. Hey, look at her dress. I wish I could have this kind of dress. Oh, she's out in a restaurant eating well. I've never been out for a very long time. Or people are different. You might see something and you're praising it and you're just like, oh, I'm inspired. This looks good. For another person, that post has ruined their day. So you need to actually be honest with yourself. Which kind of person are you? When you see pepper online, does it pepper you? When we post online, does it pepper you or does it motivate you? You need to be real. And if you're the kind of person who is peppered, please, maybe you should scroll less. Unfollow people who actually activate your anxiety. I don't care if they're close to you or not. I don't care if these are people that you are conventionally supposed to follow or not. If there are people online who actually trigger your anxiety, maybe you should unfollow them. Maybe you should mute them. Maybe you should stop watching their status. Maybe you should stop going through their stories. Whatever that looks like to you. Anything you can do to make sure all these social media highlights do not affect you negatively, make sure you do it. Because you see all these things people are posting, that's their own path. And their path should not become your assignment. You have your own things to do. And the fourth thing you need to consider is to respect seasons. There is a season for everything. Some seasons are for building, other seasons are for healing. You have some seasons that are just for learning. Then you have another season that is just for waiting. And all of these seasons together are productive. You don't have a better season than another. All of them are very productive. All of them are useful. So if you're in a particular season, it doesn't mean the season wouldn't shift. Sometimes it's winter, sometimes it's summer, sometimes it's spring, rainy season, dry season. All of them are seasons. All of them are useful. And if you're someone who constantly feels left behind, now let's look at some practical things you can do. These are practical steps you can actually follow to make sure that that feeling, you stop going through that feeling. It's not a good feeling. Take a piece of paper, look for your pen. Write down exactly where you were 1 year ago. Think about everything. Write down as much as you can remember where you were exactly 1 year ago. Then you compare it to your life this day, this minute. Tell me if there's no difference. Like if you're being sincere, write down exactly where you were 1 year ago. What were you doing? What were you eating? How did you look? Go back to your pictures. Who were you dating? Were you happy? Were you married? How was the marriage feeling? How much money did you have? Where exactly were you? How was your business feeling? Your knowledge. Did you know as much as you know right now about your business? Did you know as much as you know right now about your job? Your friends? Were your relationships better or were you just managing? Are your bonds stronger now? Like analyze as much as you can exactly where you were 1 year ago. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Then you analyze it now and let's know if there's a difference. Another thing you can do for yourself is to then create your personal milestones. After you've analyzed your past, let's say 1 year, and you've brought it into this year and you've seen the difference, you can then go ahead and create your own personal milestones. Where do you want to see yourself next year? And it should not have anything to do with what people are doing socially. Forget about this thing they call society. Society says. Forget about it. What do you want for yourself? What are the things you actually want to nail? Maybe in the next 3 months, the next 2 weeks, the next year. So you have something to compare your own self to. You are your own competition. I don't know how else to scream this, how loud I have to scream this out, but you are your own competition. The only person you should be in competition with is yourself. That's why you always have to measure your own growth, your progress against yourself. So put your own milestones, because with these milestones, in the future, you'll be able to actually compare with who you are today to know if you're making progress. When you start working out or you're on a fitness journey, let's say today you take your measurements, you measure your waist, your hips, your thigh, your this, you take your weights, you do all these measurements and you write them down so that in a month's time, you will compare with who you were 1 month ago to know if you're making progress. It's the same thing with every aspect of your life. You cannot be here A and you're comparing with person number B. Is B a number? Person B? The comparison can never be accurate. It can never be fair. You have to make all those comparisons with your own self. So go ahead and write down your own personal milestone. The next practical thing you need to do, and we already spoke about it, is just to limit your comparison triggers. Whatever triggers you to start comparing with people, you should limit it. And for most of us, this is social media. If you're the kind of person who gets triggered to start comparing your life to other people when you consume content, maybe it's from particular people or particular kind of creators, you need to block them actively. Delete them. Stop watching. Stop stressing yourself. Maybe you should scroll less. And if scrolling less is hard, then just unfollow them. If I am peppering you, unfollow me. The next thing you need to do, and you need to make this a habit, is just to celebrate your little wins and your small consistency. If you go to the gym 1 week straight, it's not a small thing. You celebrate it. And I'm not saying you should celebrate it by eating cake, please. Oh God, that's not what I mean. I just mean you should give yourself your flowers. You should be proud of yourself. Nothing is irrelevant. If you're consistent at anything, a particular thing, maybe you say you want to read more and you read 1 page every day for the next 3 days, you should give yourself a pat on the back like, oh, I'm doing well. Celebrate your little wins, your consistencies. You know your wins. I cannot tell you what your wins are. I know my own wins. You have your own wins. Make sure you celebrate them. They should not go unnoticed by you. Stop waiting for other people to notice your wins. Celebrate your own wins, your little consistencies. Hype yourself. hype yourself. And you need to keep remind yourself about this constantly. Progress that lasts is often very quiet. Very. The loud things you see, most of the loud things you see, they don't last. Either they're not consistent or they don't last. It's just a highlight. The kind of progress that actually lasts is so quiet. Nobody sees it. Sometimes even you do not see it. Before you notice it, it's already there, permanent, consistent. Bang. If you feel behind, if sincerely down in your gut you feel behind, I need you to know that you're not late. It's not lateness. You're just self-aware, and that's a good thing. It's a gift. That's what will push you towards the progress you're hoping for. Awareness is so powerful. Being self-aware is the best gift that you can actually offer yourself. You're not running out of time. You're not. You're actively and slowly building a life that just fits you, a life that you deserve. So if you cannot trust anything else, you should at least trust your own pace. Trust your pace. Agreed? Okay, on this note, take whatever resonates and leave the rest. These are just my own opinions because I don't know it all. I'll see you in the next one.